We have a new stock. It seems to be capturing everyone's attention right now because ARK Invest just started a brand new position. So I'm going to talk about Skillz in this video and hopefully talk about a couple things that a lot of people don't bring up when they talk about Skillz. So stick around. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. I'm Richard Allan. I'm an entrepreneur and I've been a successful retail trader and investor for many, many years. I'm actually doing a 10K to 100K challenge right now over on my Patreon and Discord. I have to 10x my money by the end of the year. And there's a lot of people over there watching the journey. I send out live trading updates, but I also send out a watch list every day that I update Monday through Friday with new stocks that are on my list. And some of them have been very, very profitable. Now, I actually added this to my watch list over on my Patreon 2 days ago. So we've been talking about Skillz over there for at least a couple days. I want to cover this company today, hopefully in a way that you maybe haven't heard. Now, a lot of people don't talk about this, but Skillz is actually the first publicly traded mobile esports platform in the entire US. This is really, really exciting stuff. It really, really is. And there's some really cool tech behind Skillz. And first, I want to talk about their founder because this guy, Andrew Paradise, has been creating and hacking games since he was like 7 years old. This guy is clearly absolutely brilliant. In fact, not too long ago, he sold a company to Intuit for like $100 million. So this guy knows how to create a company, okay? He knows how to create the software behind a company. And he's just, in my mind, he's just getting started with Skillz. So Andrew Paradise is absolutely brilliant. He's an exciting CEO and co-founder of this company, and he's still around. A lot of us really love these founder-driven companies like Tesla, right? Like Open Door is another one of my favorites with Eric Wu. Like these people who know what they're doing in their space, that stick around with the company for years. Skillz has actually been around since 2012. So they're going into their 9th year right now, and their team is growing like crazy. Their revenue is growing like crazy. This is a company that, again, is a mobile gaming platform. So what they do, they actually have their own app on both the iOS and Android store, but they also have an SDK or software development kit that's available to other game developers to create games. And these games, so you're allowed to bet and compete with these games. Skillz has actually run 800 million different tournaments. 800 million. They do 2 million tournaments a day now. Like, this is a prolific platform. They have, like, right now, they have about $250 million in revenue. But if they continue, like, if this gaming, and we talk about e-gaming a lot lately with like BFT, we've talked about Fortnite, Roblox is coming out with their IBO soon. Like, people are spending more and more money on games than they ever have before, So let's say you want to beat your Aunt Betty at Solitaire, and you know that you're better at Solitaire than Aunt Betty. And you're like, look, you call her up and you're like, hey, can you download Skillz? You're like, hey, I want to play this like Solitaire Cube game with you. Or Bubble Popper or something, right? So you call Aunt Betty up and you're like, hey, can you download this Skillz game? Yeah, no problem. Just click that. Yeah, we're going to play Bubble Popper together. And then eventually you get Aunt Betty up to the point where she feels really comfortable with the game. She's an expert. Maybe she's now addicted to playing Bubble Popper. And then you pounce. And you're like, hey, I bet you $20 that I will beat you. So that sort of thing is happening right now in the Skillz environment. People are taking advantage of their Aunt Betty, and it's not okay. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. But seriously, like, that type of thing is happening right now. What Skillz actually does is, I don't think they're taking advantage of Aunt Betty's, but there are a ton of people on the platform, thousands of people, and they essentially pair people up together to compete. And maybe it's $15 to $20 per game or something like that that you can potentially win. And it's pretty cool. And a lot of the footage is actually recorded on Skillz website and on the platform itself. Now, the one gripe I have with Skillz is just as a potential user. Now, it's not something that I would use, but I went and downloaded the app in preparation for this video to try to really figure out, do a deep dive into what this company does. I'm a gamer myself, so this kind of thing excites me. But I downloaded Skillz. I have an Android phone, so I downloaded it on the Play Store. And then when I went to play Aunt Betty and Bubble Popper, I had to download that game online instead of through the App Store. Now, a little pop-up comes up, and it says this. I'll read it for you here quick. Download Spider Solitaire Cube to enter this event. And then it says, after clicking the Get button, an automatic pop-up warning will appear. Don't worry, this is a standard warning for direct downloads. After clicking the Get button, an automatic pop-up will appear. Don't worry, this is a standard warning for direct downloads. They have to repeat that a couple times. They have it in regular font and then they have it in bold again. So that's my biggest gripe and my biggest potential hurdle for Skillz from a growth standpoint. Okay? So I have no doubt in my mind that this company will start pushing a little more, right? And maybe the true revenue is in the SDK stuff or working with developers. But from their own platform, from the standpoint of their own games, that's my one gripe, right? Is that when you go to try to download a game, you have to download it as offline on the Play Store. Now, people tend to be a bit more leery of that sort of thing. There was a time where Fortnite tried to circumnavigate the App Store, right? And they sued each other. Like Apple and Epic sued each other to the point where now you can't play Fortnite on an Apple device. Okay? So I'm not saying that's going to happen with Skillz, but that's my one gripe, right? Is that when you don't go through these platforms that run the freaking world of your phones, they run the world. Google and Apple run the world on your phones, right? They just do. And when you try to circumvent those systems, people, one, are leery about it. They don't trust it as much. And we're talking about real money, right? You're downloading these games to compete with people, and maybe you just want to play Spider Solitaire Cube. I don't know. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you like Solitaire. I've played Solitaire when I was lonely, and maybe that's the case. But when you're downloading a game that you're going to spend money on potentially to compete with others, there's this level of trust factor when you can't go through the Play Store, and I think that's a little bit of a hurdle for them from a future growth standpoint. And again, maybe I'm wrong, but it was eye-opening for me as a potential user, right? And I wanted to go through this whole experience from the consumer standpoint, like how is this company going to grow in the future? And I wanted to kind of cover all my bases. So that's one of the big things I wanted to cover, to let you know that this isn't just going to be a gravy train for Skillz going forward. Now, ARK Invest has a ton of people that do a ton of great research, and they have people working in the gaming sector that are just fantastic people that know a ton. And that's probably why they invested in Skillz. It makes sense. I understand. There's a great Seeking Alpha article that I want to go over with you guys that I'll link in the description that you can check out. But it goes over a bunch of stuff, but I want to cover some of the financials with you really quick, because if you're not familiar with the gaming industry, if you're not an avid gamer like I am, the gaming industry is massive. Halo can drop a new game and make more money in a day selling discs than an entire weekend of a Marvel film. Like, that's how big these games can be, like hundreds of millions of dollars. They take years to develop and they can make hundreds of million dollars in a day. Like the new Call of Duties, I mean, these games are absolutely massive. Now, you put in these highly addictive games like Skillz has, like Bubble Popper and Dominoes and different cards games. Like, people sit there and play them over and over again. And then you put in an element of gambling and competition. I mean, it's ripe for people to continue to play these games. And that's, morally whatever. You can feel however you want to about games being addictive, but that's just where we are. Now, people are stuck in their houses more and more than they ever have been. This is a really cool landscape for Skillz to be a part of right now. So let's cover some of the financials from this article. So he says that I'm expecting strong profitability due to 90+% gross margins and operating leverage, even if the hyper growth continues. And at one point, Skillz was growing at 50,000%. Like, that's how fast they were growing. They were growing crazy levels. It says currently, even with the recent increase, Skillz is valued at just 5.9 billion, or just 26 times revenues. Now, people may think that's expensive, but he says, I don't think this is expensive considering the high gross margins and massive growth runway. This company is at the beginning of its hyper growth, and there's still a long way to go. Besides the financials, there's one more thing I want to cover in this email. So it says management has stated in the IR email that they intend to expand into very popular genres like MMOs and Battle Royale. These games are far larger and far more engaging than the current games Skillz is offering. If Skillz executes well on this, the top mobile games of tomorrow may offer all players an option to play competitively with real money. In addition, Skillz mentioned in the email that 10% of their users were on Android, which is impressive in itself as Android doesn't allow real money gaming, and considering Skillz only launched in Android in 2018. Therefore, Skillz has to distribute to Android players via direct downloads or via partnerships with unofficial app stores. So that's the big thing we talked about. Now, Android could change that landscape for sure. So we have to consider that could happen in the future, and if it does, I mean, their user base will grow like crazy, because then people won't have to be leery about this app, okay? Consider that. If any of you are gamers out there, let's talk about it in the comments. I would love to get your opinion. If you play Fortnite, I play Fortnite. If you play other games like League of Legends or things like that, how cool would it be to be like, dude, 1v1 me, bro? and then you're fighting for real money. For real money, you can compete with your friends or whatever. Like, I mean, somebody you don't know. It could create a whole another slew of revenue streams for a company like Skillz. Like, this is really, really cool. Or a company like Epic Games that owns Fortnite, right? He says it really well in the article. The opportunity for Skillz is mind-bogglingly massive, massive, and I agree. So I don't know, guys. I feel like this is just the beginning for this company. But, you know, something to consider is their valuation. So we have to think about that with Skillz. But guys, I don't know. What do you guys think? Please let me know if you're a gamer down there. If you have an Aunt Betty that you'd want to challenge to some Solitaire, some dominoes, and beat her, you know, hey, let me know down in the comments, guys. I really, really appreciate you joining me for another video. Have a great day. As always, if you didn't already do it, click that beautiful red subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.